Welcome back everyone to the shop. My name's Brandon Meeves and we're doing the first video of 2022. So today we're going to go into some of the top items that I keep in my vehicle for emergency situations, especially in winter when we have a lot more that we have to worry about on our roads. The first thing that comes to mind is a good tow strap or a tow rope. Now this one is made by ARB and I think it's 30 feet. And this is a kinetic strap, so that means that when you're pulling someone out of a ditch, it has the ability to stretch. Now, if you've ever yanked anyone out with a chain or a static strap, you know that there's a jerk, right? It's not comfortable for anyone. It could ruin your vehicles. Highly recommend this strap or rope, the longer the better. Next on the list are soft shackles. So these handy devices have a loop on one end that you can make larger to put in this knot. This allows you to tighten it around anything that you want, whether it's tow hooks, your strap, a pin in your hitch. And I find them better than the metal varieties that are hard to turn, can rust, and just weigh a lot. They even have these nice protective sheaths and come with extras in a nice bag, so you protect the rope with some heat tubing right here just to keep this in really good shape. I think these are rated at 45,000 pounds each. Now what I also recommend keeping on hand is one of these pins. So you probably already have them if you have a hitch in your vehicle. But what you can do is thread this through your hitch, put the strap on, and then you can lock it. And this is what you can use to pull someone out in a pinch. Now, it's gonna be a little tight around there, but this is strong enough and it will hold and pull just fine. Second, some of the larger tools that I would recommend keeping in your vehicle. First, being a hatchet. Comes with a nice protective case. But this can just be used for cutting anything or hammering. So it has a nice flat end so you can, whether it's tent stakes or whatever the case may be, if you need to get something into place, this can be a very useful tool. Not only that, but you can use it for prying. So let's say you hit a deer and your fender kind of caves in around your tire and it's rubbing. It's not fixable, but at least you could get in there and kind of bend the metal off the tire, push it in, hammer it, whatever the case may be. This could come in handy in many ways. Speaking about blades, still carrying the Benchmade mini bug out. Did an awesome video on that. Check it out if you're interested. But it's always handy to have a blade on you. If you don't, keep it in your vehicle. They come in handy all the time. Next, we have the SOG entrenchment tool, or AKA a shovel. But this is a very lightweight package that folds out into a full-size saw, tightens up nicely, and also comes with a nice little carrying pouch. So while this ain't gonna take place of a normal shovel with a big wide end, this is helpful in case you're stuck and you need to move snow out of your tires. Third, and keeping on the tool theme, we have a screwdriver. This is a Milwaukee tool, and this one has all the different heads in it. So Phillips, flathead, and also has a ratcheting feature. So if you're in some tight spots, this could be very handy. But I like keeping this because I can have all these heads in one spot and it's compact. Next are some Knipex tools. These are made in Germany, really high quality and very lightweight. First, we have a Cobra pliers, and they have a little pin that you can adjust to different sizes. Same with the adjustable wrench. So this way, you don't need to carry an entire toolbox in your vehicle. Between the screwdriver, the adjustable wrench, and these pliers, you're able to get onto any size nut. You can, hold a hose or something else and get at it from both ends. These are awesome to have in your vehicle. Next is power. So I used to carry, and I still do, have jumper cables on my vehicle. I like getting the thicker gauge, longer cables because sometimes it's not easy to get both ends of the vehicle next to each other at the same time. But this is great if you need to jumpstart yourself or another person. The problem is, there's not always another person. More than ever, now I'm carrying a NOCO battery booster pack. Many brands make these, but this I love. I've used it on my truck many times. It's a big V8. They work on diesel. They have a lot of power with their lithium battery. They say that you could get dozens of jumps on one single charge, but every time I use this, I charge it right away. In fact, I recommend 4 times a year topping this off and putting it back in your vehicle just to make sure it's always ready. With the heat, the cold, you're slowly gonna drain this battery. So it comes with a set of plugs that simply go into this port, and you'll hook it up to your vehicle, turn it on, and then you go turn the key. It'll fire up every time right away, no matter how dead your battery is. These are so reliable, I recommend everyone get one of these. One of the nice things about this item too is that it has a built-in flashlight. So if I turn it on, I will get a battery indicator saying how big the charge is. But then there's a button on here, so I could turn on the light, turn on dim light, flashing, so a little SOS signal. So that's great if you're on the side of the road, you wanna have, attention drawn to you, whether people have to avoid you or you have to be found. That is awesome to have. And I love items in a kit that have redundancies. So just the fact that this is a booster but yet has a flashlight is awesome. Another great thing about this is that it has a USB out connection as well. So I recommend always keeping an extra phone charger in your vehicle, just in case you run out of battery power and you still need your map or you need your wallet for form of payment on your phone. Directions, communication to help, whatever the case may be, you gotta have your phone. So keep an extra cable in, and then this can charge it as well. Now it'd be extra points if you had an extra battery pack as well. There's a lot of great brands out there like Anchor and others that are relatively cheap now on Amazon. So I recommend kind of doubling up on power solutions for your vehicle as well. Now we're moving on to the theme of keeping things together. So duct tape is arguably one of the most handy things in the world. I use it at home on a weekly basis. So I have here Gorilla Tape 35 yards, so you can wrap something up a million times if needed. But if you're just trying to hold your bumper up, or if you have a hole in your camper, put a piece of tape on. This is a lifesaver. Along the themes of keeping things together, I keep a number of ratchet straps. These are especially helpful if you have roof racks or a bed in the truck, along with different types of bungees. These always come in handy when I'm camping or doing things outdoors. Lastly, rope. Even if it's just keeping the Christmas tree on top of the vehicle or holding something down, rope is your friend. You should always have a roll in your vehicle. Moving on to the next theme, we're talking about keeping warm. I recommend keeping a wool blanket on hand in your vehicle. So this is sort of an army grade wool blanket, which is great at reducing how much moisture gets sucked up in here. It's comfortable, so you can ensure that you keep your family and yourself warm if something were to happen on the side of the road. Along with a blanket, I recommend keeping an emergency blanket as well. So this is kind of that shiny Mylar thing. These are $1 or $2 a piece and super lightweight, so it's very easy to keep inside your vehicle. But they're wind, waterproof, and they're great for an emergency because they can be seen from a long distance, and they reflect your body heat back towards you so you can stay warm. So I definitely recommend keeping both of those in your vehicle. Other items would be gloves. So if you're working out in the cold on your vehicle, you know how fast your fingers can go to frostbite territory, or at least I know mine. So keeping a good pair of leather gloves is awesome because it gives you good grip and it keeps your fingers warm. For rain, I keep an emergency poncho. So again, like the emergency blanket, this is probably $1. It's got the hood, and it's gonna make sure you stay dry if you're forced to be outside to do something in an emergency situation. On top of that, I'll keep an extra cap and a jacket. I'm using synthetic materials because they don't hold water and they stay a little fresher as they sit in a box or the trunk of your car. But obviously the warmer varieties, down or down synthetic, are gonna be great options for keeping in your vehicle. Now we move on to the simple air gauge. There's not much to say about it, but it comes in handy all the time when your light goes on saying that your pressure is low. So oftentimes when that light goes on, you don't know which tire is low, unless it's very obvious because it's blown out. So by having this, I can go around to all 4 tires, including the 5th tire as the spare, and just diagnose which one has low air. At that point, I can go and see if there's any nails or other objects that are stuck in the tire, and then see if it's low enough where I need to actually put on a spare, or if it's something I can drive with, or maybe the cold air just simply is reducing the air pressure in my vehicle. This one's got a nice rubber coating around it, so to protect it from bangs and make sure it doesn't get dented or break the glass. It's also got a glow-in-the-dark gauge so you can see it at night, and a rotating head so you can get it at any angle inside your rim. Very handy. The power of light, one of my favorite topics. Here we have a Phoenix CL09. So the reason I have this in my vehicle is for actually a few reasons. One, it has all the different modes that I'm looking for in an emergency light. So I have a dim mode, I have different varying levels of brightness, turbo, medium, whatever the case may be. But then it's also got red, flashing red, and green. So the reason I like all these modes is, if I'm under the vehicle and I'm trying to work on something, I want a floodlight, just general light in the area. So the white is definitely gonna help me there. The reason I don't carry kind of your typical beam, cylinder flashlight is because that is not as helpful if I'm in an emergency situation on the side of the road. Now it's great for going down the trail or trying to find something you lost in the distance, and I'll probably still carry one of those lights as well, but this is really great for task lighting. Now with the red flashing mode, if I'm stranded or on the side of the road, I can draw attention to myself in an emergency situation as well. Red is also fantastic for night vision. So if you're out in the dark and you're trying to read or do something, use the red light, and you'll notice when you turn it off, you can still see your surroundings. Whereas a white light, it makes it very hard to see after you turn that light off. A couple other things I love about this light. Obviously it's waterproof, shockproof, this can be dropped. While this is plastic, it's very tough plastic. I've dropped it on it a few times and no damage has been to it. But I also love that it has a magnetic base. So if you're on the side of your car or underneath, you can easily put this on something to make sure that it's stuck in place and working for you. It also can stand on its base, and it comes with a hook so you can hang it as well. Powering these lights, I love using lithium batteries. Now lithium sometimes don't work the best in cold, but they have an extremely long shelf life. Take for example these CR123 batteries. These can last 10 years just sitting on a shelf, so they're always ready to go. And if you're nervous, you can always switch these out every couple of years or two, just to make sure that you're always prepared. I would get the use once variety instead of the rechargeable. The rechargeable are not as good as sitting out in cold by themselves. They'll lose a charge faster. So just get the one use ones, get a multi-pack of them, and you should be set with your battery. Another thing I love about these lights is the battery life. If you were to run this on high, you could get 19 hours on a full battery. Low, 150 hours. So plenty of time to do whatever you need to do. Additionally, I may keep a second light just as another backup. This is a stream light and it uses a AAA battery, which is a little bit more common and can be found other places. I like the tail cap because I can click it on, or I can just give it a momentary push and it's easy to turn on in case I just need to quick spot something. And this one has a clip that goes both ways, so I can clip it onto my pants, but it also clips on, let's see if I can do this, the reverse way as well, so you can put it on your hat and then you can use it as a task light. I would also recommend a headlamp, another good option, so you can do things hand-free. But if you have a light like this, you kind of get the best of both worlds. Getting towards the end of the list, I recommend keeping a first aid kit in your vehicle. Now this is something that I always haven't kept before, but having a family and being out places, I'm finding more as a necessity to make sure that we're always prepared. In this kit, we have your typical bandages, gauze, pins. It's got an emergency whistle. All the necessities that you need to make sure that you're safe. I'd probably put a little Advil, Tylenol here as well, whatever you think you need for an emergency. But this is a great thing to have just in case. And obviously, you can get these for 10 bucks and you can spend a couple hundred on them. So get, I'd say, the most expensive one that you can comfortably fit in your vehicle to make sure that you're safe. And you're not gonna be able to hold all that stuff unless you have a good case. Now maybe you have a lot of good glove boxes and other spots you can keep your stuff. I use a Pelican case. They're watertight, weather resistant, and tough as nails, so you can bang this up, do whatever you want. I keep mine in the bed of the truck, tied to the side so it's not flinging around too much, but it's got very heavy duty latches, and it's got a nice O-ring seal all the way around to make sure that there's no water, moisture, or dirt getting in this. So get yourself a case. It doesn't need to be expensive. A lot of them have a removable tray on the top so you can keep things organized. Yeti, Pelican, Milwaukee Tool, they all make awesome cases. A lot of them being lockable as well. So if you have a lot of tools or supplies in there that you want to keep safe, you can put a lock on that, lock it to your vehicle, and you'll always have your stuff safe and secure with you. Couple bonus items, obviously. Don't forget your snow scraper. What's not in my box, but I keep by my driver's seat, is one of these glass breakers and seatbelt cutters. So tempered glass is in your front windshield and side windows of most vehicles, at least is from what I know. And so you're gonna need one of these to punch through. That glass is very tough, and if you get in a situation where you need to get out, this is gonna be your friend. Now, secret, maybe it's not a secret, but the back window is usually not tempered glass. So if you didn't have something on this and you're able to get to the back window, usually those can be kicked out no problem. I don't recommend kicking windows though if you don't have to. And lastly, one item that I think a lot of people overlook, but is an extra set of glasses. If you have vision problems, if you wear contacts, glasses, and You know, let's say something gets in your eye, or they come out, or you break your glasses, perhaps lose them. Having an old pair on hand, it can be a lifesaver. Don't throw them out. You know, even if they're one prescription behind, if they're good enough to get you out of an emergency situation, definitely keep your old glasses on your vehicle. So that is it for the list for this year's version of the Loadout for Emergency Situations Winter Edition. I hope you learned something and took something away from it. If you have good ideas of what you keep in your vehicle, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to check it out. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.